Come there. Oh, use your webcam. There it is. Check, check, check. Look at that. You see that? Boom, boom.
Do the other one.
I don't know how to do that. Check, check, check. So let's see if people are. All right. Hey, hey, can you guys hear us? Fire the sound guy. Anybody, can they hear us? If they can't hear us there. Oh, somebody said there it is.
Does it sound good though?
Does it sound good or sound bad?
Sound good?
But now it sounds good, but now you're completely ghosted.
Wow. Hold on.
Tap that thing. Now that probably sounds. It says a little bit echoey. Okay, got my ears back. All right, so hold on. Maybe I add another audio input capture to.
Spokane Bake Man says it's good.
It's good.
Yeah. I like that name. Rolls off the tongue.
Check, 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 check. Boom, 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 boom. A little echoey, they say, but
I want my money back, dude. I gotta tell you, we got our first paycheck from Patreon. It was like, you know, feels good to be big.
yeah, we did. I'm gonna thank our one Patreon subscriber. Dude, all right, I gotta fix you. Your camera's so messed up. Should I even try to fix it or not? All right. Well, no.
If I just do this.
No, that's bad. It's not the lights. It's not the lights. It's because you're moving in and out of it.
All right. Whatever.
Fuck it. Let's do this. This is why we need more Patreon supporters, so we don't have to spend our own money. And we're back.
So give away our position.
Okay.
Chance you get.
So what are we doing? What are we
I have
doing?
no idea what we're fucking talking about. Like Hurricane Irma.
Oh, right. So we were talking about preparedness, right?
Gas prices.
Gas prices and how it's it shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to have the government or anybody else telling you that you should be prepared or you should go get prepared right now, right? Like it should be in your own self-interest, right?
I agree.
Okay.
Moving on.
All
right. So I saw the day on Yahoo. So you know, like when
are you just skipping mine?
Yours.
Am I around the world? Or are we just gonna do hot zone?
This was something I emailed us that I didn't even.
All right. Oh, okay. Okay. Go ahead.
So this is.
I got defensive for no reason.
From Yahoo Finance.
Mm-hmm.
Title of the article says Putin, meaning Vladimir Putin, says that the country that perfects AI will be ruler of the world.
Really? That's.
He claims Russia would share its knowledge of AI with the entire world and not just like hoard it, you know, to become ruler of the world. In AI, artificial intelligence, for people that don't know. So this is it's from what I said. Yahoo Finance says, "Forget the arms race or space race. The new battle for technological dominance revolves around AI," according to Vladimir Putin. The Russian president told students at a career guidance forum that the future belongs to artificial intelligence, and whoever is first to dominate this category will be ruler of the world. In other words, Russia fully intends to be a frontrunner in the AI space. It won't necessarily hog its technology. I'm sorry, I'm not going to read the whole entire thing.
No, when they say perfect AI, what do they mean by that? Perfecting AI means it, like, moves us towards what's called technological singularity, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, so I'll read a little more here. So
right.
Putin maintains he doesn't want to see anyone monopolize the field and that Russia would share its knowledge with the entire world in the same way it shares its nuclear tech. So, not that this is reassuring, not that this reassuring long-term AI skeptic Elon Musk, Elon
Musk, the guy for Tesla.
The entrepreneur believes that the national level competition to lead AI will be most likely cause of World War III. So I don't think it's going to be, or it probably will be. But to me, so he had the space race, right?
Mm-hmm.
So allegedly land on the moon, and everyone's trying to do it first. So now you're going to have, hey, who can make the first artificial intelligence or perfect it, right? So now not only are we like moving towards Judgment Day on a normal level, like racing to it, like which country can make it happen the fastest? Like Russia or America? Because everyone talks about using AI for, you know, like good of humanity, but even this article talks about how if AI was in charge of an AI could launch a preemptive strike on neighboring nations if it decides that attacking first is the most probable path to victory. So, you know, it's already talking about it becoming self-aware and wiping out competitors. I don't think people realize like the level of
well,
intelligence or whatever. If you're talking about artificial intelligence, and like we've talked in the past, like to where a computer can't tell the difference between a crayon and a fucking street sign, and since it's compounding exponentially to where it's like, what's a crayon to I am a god.
Yeah, I mean that's how it will happen, right? Because there's not really a. So think about us for a minute, right? So think about us.
Mm-hmm.
So according to our mythos or whatever, what's the word for that? Our story of beginning, regardless of.
Is it irregardless or regardless?
I don't think it's irregardless. I don't think you can do.
I tried to use that in an email and I can't fucking ever.
It doesn't autocorrect for you.
Change it to regardless.
I think it is regardless.
You get effect and effect wrong too a lot.
Like affect.
Yeah.
Like whenever something affects me.
It's not the intended effect.
So the affect is like oh that you're making me sad. That's affecting me.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that effecting me?
I don't
I don't know. It sounds a little weird if I say that.
Effecting?
Yeah, don't.
Maybe effecting.
No.
Felching.
No. So all right. So think about this for a minute. Think about the story of us. At least us here. Predominantly, we're Christian, right? A Christian nation, right? We're Christian. People in the West are predominantly Christian. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Or they believe in God. Either they believe in evolution or some form of chemicals and protons and electrons and gases coming together, right? Or they believe in in intelligent design, right? So the key there is intelligent design. Think of that for a minute. So prior to us having that, taking a bite of that apple, right? Taking a bite of that apple. Prior to that, we were no different than
apes eating shit. Oh, computer.
Well, but I mean, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah,
so what does God say in the Bible? Like he's like he's like man is it, this is their domain, right? The earth is their domain, and they're the caretaker of all of it. Much like what?
I immediately went to Cain providing tasty eats. But go ahead. Provided tasty eats.
So, well, it's after the garden, all right. But so man is the he's the caretaker of everything, right? That's his role. But that's no more than a Windows operating system or a viral, that type of behavior or that type of he's got his program that he's running, right? The minute that you took that bite of that apple, he's like, holy shit, I'm not a lion. I'm not a monkey. Yeah. I'm man. Because you think a lion knows he's a lion? He doesn't fucking know he's a lion. He doesn't know what he is. No.
He's walking around. He knows
I think he's programmed. Yeah, he's right. He knows what he's doing, but it's what he's programmed to do. It's not like he's gonna be like, oh, stand up one day, put a tie on, and go to work and be like, hey, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this out here in the fucking with hyenas all day long. I don't have to do that. I can give me a.
Sell cigarettes.
Exactly. You know what I mean? He's not gonna. That's not gonna happen. You don't see a dolphin. You know.
But you think that
So
singularity or
that whole technological singularity, all of a sudden, laptops can be like, holy shit! I don't have to do this. Fuck you! I don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, not laptop, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, it's.
I think Adam said that when he had the Bible.
He didn't say fuck you to God, bro. Motherfucker. No, he was probably like, oh. Actually, I don't know. You know what I mean? You think that's a great question, because it always perplexes me. Like, if we go with that whole story, and that's what I've been programmed to believe my whole life, right?
Yeah.
And if we go with that story, and you think about that for a minute, that whole idea, right? Like, what did Adam say? Like, oh. Like, you imagine that? Because now you have knowledge of good and evil, right? What is that? So you were completely oblivious to what was going on. There was a war in heaven, right? Like, between God, or the creator, right? And one of his angels, right? Somebody he's created who wanted to be like him, right? But God was like, no, you're not like me. Now, mind you, you got to know your role here. And then he's the ultimate, like the intoxicating, I guess, plot behind the story altogether is that Satan actually is rebelling against the ultimate tyrant, right? Like, that's how he sells his story to mankind, right? That's how he ties people in. Like, well, you want to be free,
Stan?
Yeah, you want to be free, right? So you're gonna get thrown in a lake of fire with me, just because what? So you choose to live your life? That's the whole appeal, right? That's how these Illuminatists. Well, what do you think? What do you think Adam thought?
I don't know. I never thought about that. I never thought about. I don't know. I never thought about what he. I always pictured Adam and Eve being dumbasses.
Until when? Or always?
Well,
The Bible makes them out to be like, man, you guys, I can't believe you did this.
here's old Stan.
What's Stan? Who's Stan saying? Lions know. So this comes from Charles Scott. Lions know what they are, or they'd be fucking cheetahs. Might be. That's creepy.
You'd like to live deliciously. I'd like to live deliciously.
So as somebody else said, Jesus represented man, and I guess we weren't talking about Jesus, but that's cool. Jesus represented man in the flesh. They murdered him at 33, the age of enlightenment. It represents the death of man's enlightenment. 33 does. So we're no longer enlightened? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I figure if Adam's walking around buck naked, doesn't realize he's buck naked, it's just an animal, eats an apple or whatever, and then all of a sudden realizes it, probably didn't say anything.
So is that the idea, like it's metaphoric?
I don't know. I always wonder if Adam and Eve was symbolic for like an amoeba or like a atom.
Or like a computer?
Yeah. I mean, like it could be. Everyone takes it so literally,
Well, I mean, but the magic doesn't lie in this, right? The magic doesn't lie in what we're made of, right? To be honest with you, it's not really the magic that lies in that. It's the magic that lies in this, all this that's in our, our brains, and the capturing of that. But that's also scary to think. Like, what is it?
That's text. So I saw a video today. Or I've seen it in the past. Someone sent it to us, and but it's a video from like World War II where they keep this dog's head alive by pumping blood through it, and they put citric acid in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
The dog, like, when they tickle his nose, it is reactive to like a hammer hitting the table. Like, the dog's head is alive, right?
Yeah. So they just have an artificial heart that's pumping blood through him.
And cleaning it. I'm not sure how they filter out whatever.
Whatever, right?
Or oxygenated or whatever. But
and this is in World War II?
Yeah, so they're keeping his dog's head alive. And I was talking to some guy at work. I was like, is that dog dead or alive to you? Because, I mean, is it? It closes its eyes.
So, no, it's living. It's living. It's living. It's alive.
How's it alive?
It doesn't mean that it can live on its own, but it's alive. I mean,
I don't think so.
But then, what you're saying to me then is that nothing that doesn't have, no, it's alive.
So what is death then? Just cease of brain?
No. See, that's a different question, right? Like, so, I guess the definition of life is what the question is, right? Like, are you then saying that just because you're reactive to stimuli, right? You're alive? Or is it this? Like I said, it's what's this consciousness that we contain. And that's a lot, and that's the big seller on the whole idea of like, oh, well, easy, man. Check it out. Like kind of what we talked about last week. Just move your consciousness right into this
computer,
and you'll be able to live forever and be able to manipulate your reality forever.
My fucking computer doesn't work. I can't imagine.
Yeah, you're
yeah, he's stuck in on what do they call it, buffering or whatever.
I don't know. So you don't believe that dog was alive?
No, I feel like that's evil. I don't feel like that's.
I do agree that that's not something you should be doing, but it's no different than if
Plus,
that's.
It's creepy anyway because it's from the 40s and it's black and white and it's got that same voice that a dog's head is still alive and
like
reacts to the stimuli. Here we put on the table and hammer, with a hammer.
It's the same.
So think about it. If you fed that dog and it ate, it just come out of its neck. If it could, I don't know if it could swallow or if it could eat, but.
Well, you think about it though. I don't think it probably could swallow or eat, right?
I don't know. So
maybe, but if you think about a life support situation.
So if it kept it, so say you kept it plugged in or whatever it is for I don't think it could. It'd slowly die. I mean, the cells are still dying.
Sure.
It's like that saying I saw on that Ozark show. As soon as you're born, you're dying, slowly dying from birth.
Yeah, that was something a professor had told me, or I read somewhere. But yeah. Here's one of our listeners says it's the brain in a vat argument. If we can reduce ourselves to just the brain, then anything is possible.
So like Krang.
Yeah. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were prophetic.
What's Krang's body thing called? Remember? I worked with a guy that looked like that.
We worked out with a guy that looked like that. Isn't it? No, I'm thinking of Master Blaster. But hold on. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Yeah. So Putin's running to hurry up and cause Judgment Day and start a war between countries with artificial intelligence. So add that to your list of things that you might want to be gearing up for. What are you doing? Oh, it's supposed to rain later, so I'm getting my rain jacket. There's a hurricane coming, so I'm prepared for the hurricane. Possible EMP attack from North Korea and artificial intelligence war spouted off by Russia. Nothing really. That's all. That's my introduction. Go around the world. Didn't have it on there, did it? No one knows who Krang's body's name is.
Yeah, nobody does. All right. So this story comes to us from Express. No, hold on, it's closed.
Do you read British tabloid magazines because your wife's British?
No, I didn't read this. I actually saw a video of this, and then I Googled it to find an article so that we could have the article.
I love this music.
But and I got to think that
Like
there's
sitting on those uncomfortable couches. The itch.
that itch, the ones with the little tiny squares
Yeah.
sewn.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude, those are itchy couches. I had one once. I had a couch like that.
Yeah.
Check it out. I was sitting on it. I was like 8 years old. Sitting there, and I pulled away from it, and I had a feather dug in my back like that long. I pulled it out of my back, like it was stuck into my skin.
He was skinned alive.
It was stuck in my skin. It's disgusting. All right. So this comes. No, the reason that this is probably an Indian or a British tabloid is because it's why do you? That's what you think? You think I just read British tabloids because my wife is British? No. It's probably because there's a huge Indian population in the UK. But no, I saw this on a video. It says, Indian boy with swollen head who cannot walk is worshipped as Hindu god. So I'm going to put this over here for everybody to see. I don't know if they can. I'll hide you for a second. Or they don't need to hide you. You're transparent. But, okay, so this boy, right? Did you read this?
Mm-mm.
No?
I didn't know you added this.
Oh, okay. It says 6-year-old Indian boy who is worshipped by locals who believe he is reincarnation of the Hindu god Ganesha. Right? But Ganesh is the elephant god, you know? It says Pranshu from Jalandhar in the Indian state of Punjab was born with a mystery medical condition which has left him with a swollen forehead and deep-set, narrow eyes. Although he is unable to walk, he does walk. Now, this isn't, he can walk, he just waddles. Although he's unable to walk, villagers believe Prashnu is a divine child and have nicknamed him Lord Ganesha. Every Thursday, Pranshu meets worshippers outside the mosque near his village as his father. See, this is another, like,
mosque.
But it's not. It's more, what do they call it?
Temple, right?
Yeah, it's a temple, but they have another word for it. It's called a mundid. I don't know. That might just be. I don't think that's a Hindu. Anyways, as his father decided not to let devotees into the family home due to their ever-increasing numbers. Basically, I'm just going to give you the breakdown. This kid is a star, right? Like a complete star over here in India, in Punjab province, right? He has he's got
right. I don't know why he's in that picture.
this guy.
Yeah.
But he's become.
Who's he look like? The elephant?
Yeah. Well, to a degree, right?
That fucking picture's Photoshop. Look at his chin.
Really?
Yeah, look.
Hold on. What's wrong with his chin?
Looks Photoshop to me.
I don't trust your judgment. Let me look. I gotta pull it on my computer. Anyways. Might be. I don't know. But I've seen a kid walking around. It doesn't look like, you know. Anyways, so what I wanted to say is, so if we saw a kid here in the United States walking around like that, right? In the West,
Mm-hmm.
what do you say?
That poor kid.
You feel bad for him, right?
Yeah.
You see him and you're like, golly, man, poor guy. This dude, he's happy. He's 100% happy. He's like, he said, I look like Ganesha Jai, and people don't even know my real name. My teachers also worship me at school. My friends don't bully me at all, as they say they believe I am Lord Ganesha. I'm happy when people call me Ganesha. It makes me happy. I want to be like this only. I am happy with my big head and face. Right? And he's like from a poor family, make less than £4 a day, you know? But,
How could it be poor if they're worshiping?
well, I'm sure that this will work into something. He's young, right? They don't know what it is. They can't figure out if it was due to the massive amounts of pollution there, what's caused it. But if you think about it, here in the United States, if we saw that, you wouldn't be worshiping him, right?
No.
It's so crazy that, and that kid would likely, if we were here,
we worship fucking toast with Jesus in it.
We worship Kim Kardashian,
like,
right? And
like an image of a cross or something. People like, as God sent this symbol to me, a potato, and a French fry.
Yeah, some people do that. The majority worship celebrities.
Or the government.
Yeah, the government. You're right. You're right. But and if you saw that here, you'd be like, oh, sad, right? And be like, oh, and that kid likely would not have a good life, not a great life. And this dude's living as a celebrity. You know, it's crazy. I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up. This is just two totally different ways of looking at it, right?
I don't see the resemblance to.
I don't either necessarily. As a young boy, like young Ganesh, right?
Ganesh is the elephant.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Alright, let's go to hot zone. Play commercial.
Okay. I don't like that commercial. It's the eyes. It's the eyes. And I think now they can hear you on there.
On where?
On YouTube. Wired right here.
Oh, you can hear us?
Mm-hmm. What?
Buck to look at Bigfoot at the carnival. It was an old dude with club feet. You remember those fucking carnivals with all that shit on the walls and stuff?
Yeah.
Pay to look at? Like, I remember thinking there was seriously a dragon in a jar, like a real life dragon. Because they had like a two-headed pig or whatever. And I remember they had one here in Broken Arrow. It was I don't know. Like that was all the time before the internet or whatever.
Yeah.
I could possibly imagine life without the internet. That there was no way to verify, like, is that a real dragon in that jar? Of course, I would have thought like 8 or 9. So.
But that's I love that mystery. Like I want.
There's none of that anymore.
I want there's. I doubt my daughter would be. I don't know. She's pretty.
Your kid.
She would be.
Your kid could look up here soon. Like, is Santa Claus real?
See,
You know what I mean?
I know, man. I know.
Dad, you're full of shit.
Uh-huh.
Look it up on Google.
But the thing is like this: is that's coming, right?
Bloody Mary,
Yeah.
she could look that up.
Well, my daughter called her Mary Blood.
Mary Blood.
Yeah, she was like, Mary Blood. Somebody said it's real. I was like, look, Mary Blood.
All I know Bloody Mary is a delicious drink.
Mm-hmm. And I told her, I said, don't worry, I fucked Bloody Mary up in school. Don't worry. I didn't say fuck her. I said Bloody Mary's terrified.
There's a competition now to make Bloody Marys as ridiculous as possible. You know what I mean?
Soon it's just gonna be
There's a
just
fucking hamburger.
you got a cabbage in there
Yeah.
with the
Like, can I get a Bloody Mary? And it comes out, it's got bacon and peppers and fucking all kinds of shit. It's all on the top, so all kinds of crap. Like it's good,
Yes.
right? But like,
I've had one with the Hard Times beef jerky in it.
Yeah,
It was good.
Put a
Peanut butter sandwich on top.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. No, but it's definitely a competition to see who can take it to the next level.
Supposed to talk about Bloody Mary.
Mhm.
Whenever you order a Bloody Mary, you ever order more than one? I'm usually one and done on a Bloody Mary.
Well, it's because you're ordering it to start the day, right? Like you don't order a Bloody Mary. Like I've ordered a Bloody Mary and I guess I've ordered it in the evening, but generally I only get it whenever I'm out of town. Like, here's the deal: is whenever you go to your anniversary, right? You guys are gonna wake up, right? You're gonna go to your hotel restaurant in the morning. You're gonna get a mimosa.
No deal.
You're gonna get a mimosa. Your wife's gonna get a mimosa. You're gonna get a Bloody Mary. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true.
It's funny. So we're going to Oklahoma City, but we're going to go out of town and decide against it.
You guys are gonna go to the Maldives.
Yeah, and so there's a Mexican restaurant down there called Chilrens. And Chilrens, you get the guiso de especial. It's like fucking chopped steak with an egg on it.
With an egg. You turned me on to that.
Okay, so you get that, and then somehow the caddies that they pour you are amazing. So the hotel.
They're almost frozen.
Yeah,
They're almost frozen. I don't know how they. Yeah, and I've seen this on the internet, how to do them.
Chilinos.
No. But how to make them like that, right?
There's, I think there's like 10 pounds of salt in them, or but so the hotel where we're staying is right here, and Chilinos is right here. So and we're going to a real nice restaurant on Saturday, but I'm more excited about getting a $10 plate of cheap Mexican food and drinking like because I'm like, I can drink 6 or 7 of those and walk to the hotel. You know, I mean, I feel guilty of drinking in front of my wife, I guess, but it's just something, you know, just fucking have to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
So, all right, hot zone.
Okay.
Kim Jong-un's rocket scientists behind North Korean missile program revealed. If you read this is from FoxNews.com. The rocket scientist is, you know, basically helping to expand North Korea's rocket program has been identified. So these are these pictures. I don't know if you can bring them up on us.
I'm going to try here.
This guy's name is...
They're so small.
Kim Jong-sik. He caught Kim Jong-il's attention after he helped successfully launch an Una-3 rocket in December of 2012. The scientist who's now off the picture with the dictator and donning the military uniform of the general got credit for the launch after identifying mistakes in the failed April 2012 attempt. So if you look at these pictures, this dude he looks happy. He looks like a happy guy. He's
always smiling.
So get this, like if you work for Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, dude, that's like working for Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
except
can
he's
you
gonna
imagine?
feed. This is Kim Jong-sik right here.
Yeah. He looks uncomfortable right there.
Or is it this one?
No, it's
this one, right?
I can see my finger. Everyone's laughing in that picture. It must be a happy day. Are those salt and pepper shakers? I don't know. Those are just map weights, paper weights.
Yeah,
Get that one. Click on that one. And look at him. He's happy. They're all happy. Maybe we're being lied to about North Korea. It's a happy
Maybe it's
place.
a great place.
So, like, I was just thinking, like, okay, you're in charge of the rocket program in North Korea. Like, it's in international news. Like, you've got to be right on the fact that you got one fuck up away from being just fed the dogs, right? Like, you shoot one off and it, like,
Yep, done.
Fuck. You just take off running from the
I mean, I guess here's the deal though: is that there's only so many of you. It's not like he can go out and get more of them, right? It's not like he's, you know what I mean? His pool to draw from is a lot smaller than.
What do you think it'd be like to talk to that guy, Kim Jong-un? Like if he was over here right
Like
now,
just in this room.
You think he'd just try to kill you the whole time, or do you just
Fuck, the fat shit like that? You get rolled up. You know what I mean? No, I don't think so. I think if he's away from his, you know, if it's just him, I picture him drinking tons of Mountain Dew, eating Cheetos.
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch doo-doo porn, Japanese doo-doo porn.
You get tricked into that sometimes.
Yeah, well, I think he probably seeks it out.
All right, so this other one's from FoxNews.com. It says North Korea.
If he's listening, please don't Irradiate me.
Mike, by the way.
He does watch NBA. That's true. He likes to see people that are not vertically challenged like himself. I don't know. Why should I? I guess I should make fun of him just like I make fun of every leader of the non-free and free world.
Yeah.
He's just
a little harsh though. You're not that hard on.
I'm that hard on Trump.
Make fun of his height. Is he tall?
Trump's tall, but he's not. He's probably taller than me. Yeah, I'm hard on him.
What's just in the butthole?
You have to get it downturned,
Like,
though.
Robert Redford, he's got a butthole mouth too.
Yeah, I think it happens with. You think Trump smokes? I don't think he smoked. Yeah, not just dictators. I mean everybody. I mean
smoking.
I think. Well, I get you're right. Dictators. I mean everybody. If you don't want to classify him as a dictator, anybody that's pseudo royalty or royalty and above.
Elected royalty.
Yeah.
Alright, so this says North Korea may very well have the ability to kill millions of Americans without directly firing on U.S. soil. So this will come out earlier in the intro. If you're on YouTube, it didn't happen for you. We're talking about how North Korea could send an electromagnetic pulse over America, which can like short out the power grid. They said especially on the East Coast. I wasn't clear on why that is.
Mm-hmm.
But they said where large sections of the U.S. would have no power. Imagine New York, Washington, D.C. with no power for just a week. This is said that this could last up to a year, right? That in itself is going to kill thousands, if not millions, depending on the size and where it's dropped. Also, I can't ever fucking read tonight. Nuclear weapons carry radioactive fallout, would be spread thousands of miles to the atmosphere and oceans. This is all, considering that North Korea would do this. But when we've talked in the past, there's been all these people, this is part of the scary news, all these people be talking about, like, hey, the America power grid infrastructure is really susceptible to an EMP attack. We need to do something for it. Everyone just keeps ignoring it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a reality. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing as. Let's think about it. It's almost two situations that have been ignored for a long time, right? But have been always the narrative, right? North Korea for a long time, right? Like we've always been told, but it's always been like, hey, he's a fucking cartoon, blah 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 blah. Since I was even in the military, since 1994, when we were supposed to go wheels up to fly to North Korea or fly to South Korea, and we're going to go straight to war, right? In 1994, and that whole narrative was kind of pushed, and North Korea's always been just made this jest, right? But it's always been in the background. It's always kind of played in the background, and this whole idea of what happens with the power grid, like on the coast, right? If power goes out, you hear about different scenarios, but they've never come together where it's been, North Korea is now going to knock out the power. That seems like it's lining up pretty good to maybe be
done.
Yeah, but I don't see the benefit of that. I don't see I could see the benefit of all these other, how we talk about, false flags, or we talk about these staged events or whatever, right? Like I can see the benefit of that can be justified. But in this case, it would have to be sold to you like the culling of a population, right? Because that's what would happen. I want to change the subject. Did you see they're making a movie about Barry Seal? It's called American Made, and it's about Barry Seal flying guns and drugs, right? For the CIA.
From Colombia?
Yeah, from all multiple, but yes. I'm telling you, can you believe that? That they're making this? They're making a movie, and it's.
Barry Seal worked for Pablo Escobar for a short time.
Oh, so that should tell you a little bit about Pablo Escobar. and who Pablo Escobar worked for.
When I watched the Narcos show, which I know is not totally true, but when I watched that, I told my wife, I was like, how the fuck can someone operate like this? You can't operate this freely without fear of reprimand or arrest or anything like that, without having some sort of like government backing, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead and arrest me. I'll build the prison. I'll hang out here. It's cool. What? No. No.
Well, what I was going to take that to is that they're making this movie, right? And it's going to come out, right? And people are going to look at it and they're going to say, "What? You mean the CIA actually did this?"
Right? The CIA got pushing to make pencils.
That they actually did this in the 80s, and that, well, I mean, how are they going to justify that? Number one.
You can say that,
and then
you can say, "Hey, did the ATF knowingly sell firearms?"
There you go. You know where I was going.
Cartel?
No,
they wouldn't do that.
They wouldn't do that.
No way. To try to track gun running and all that, and people died because of it. No way.
So
20 years, if someone makes a fucking Netflix original about it, and they're like, this is hard-hitting documentary.
So what happens next in 20 years whenever they say, I mean, we already know now that FDR knew that the Japanese were flying into Pearl Harbor, right? And it's accepted. It's accepted. Well, we needed to get into that war. We had to get into that war. People might debate it a little bit, but the American public wasn't behind it. They weren't behind going to Germany. They weren't behind going to Japan. They wanted to mind their own business. But what needed to happen to get us out of that depressed state that we were operating in, right? Well, let's provoke some Japanese. They're gonna, well, whatever. We don't even provoke them, but let's fly them through, right? And then, so sure enough, we're in. American public's justified getting into it, right?
They've never done that since.
Yeah. No, it's never happened again. One and done. And then, wait. We got to go Gulf of Tonkin. I forgot that one. Yeah, that didn't happen. You know what I mean? And the thing is that so why is it so hard for people to believe that in 30 years, 30 years from now, do they not only allow it, but then they become the perpetrators, right? To accomplish a set goal. Why wouldn't it be difficult? Why is it so hard to believe that when they make a movie, World Trade Center in 30 years, and people are like, when America is no longer America, right? Like they could be like, oh, it's not. I'm not saying that, but like it's something totally different, right? And it's like, oh yeah, it's a sad day. Sad that the government did that. But, probably a better world for it. Because we eradicated all the Muslims and or whatever their whole meaning was, right? Like, but whenever you look at like Gulf of Tonkin, right? How can we go back and look at that and say, oh yeah, damn, that was a great idea. I'm glad we got into that Vietnam War. Like, what the fuck? Like, seriously, how did we benefit from that?
From Vietnam?
It was just military-industrial complex idea like General Smedley?
I don't know. It's always hard for me
to buy that idea that
to continue making weapons and stuff like.
Well, not just weapons, but just industry in general, right?
I mean, like
to spur the economy, to feed the banks, to feed the, and if it's.
But it's just, it's like everything else. It's like, dude, surely people like this evil. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to believe it.
And the question always goes to where it's like, well, how do they keep something like that secret, right? How do you keep? Well, fuck, they kept this the Barry Seal thing secret, and then they just deny, and then whenever they finally come out and admit it, it's a population that doesn't even give a fuck anymore. People don't care. They keep things like that secret for a long time. The same with FDR, right?
You talk about any of this stuff to anyone now, you're like a fringe lunatic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like everything else. Like until like the majority of the population, until the news tells them something, they don't believe it. Like, oh, that's Alex Jones talking. You're a fucking conspiracy conspiracy guy or whatever. Like, I just have some questions. I just have questions on, you know.
Yeah. Just let me.
Why, you know, where's the black box for the 9/11? And how the fuck did everything disappear with the patch? Tell me that. Explain that to me.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't believe everything that I've heard is conspiracy, but I don't understand that. Or, you know, why the fuck are we flying these Saudis out of the country, you know, and you know, like the San Diego shooting and stuff, like, who are these people that are arrested? I've seen videos of them around the woods, like, but if you talk like that to anyone, they think you're fucking nuts.
They do.
I'm just curious. I mean, I don't buy the story that I've been told because it's a story. It's like we've said time and time again, whatever you're reading or whatever you hear from whoever has been told you in a way that they want you to receive it. You know what I mean?
It's like that. It's like that. There's a movie called I don't know, Bug's Life or Ant's Life or Ants. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if there's a scene in there from that, but I could imagine that when you start to question things like the norm.
Bug's Life.
Yeah, like maybe not Bugs. Yeah, like Bug's Life, maybe of some sort, right? Like I think it's that where the grasshoppers are trying to fight the ants. I don't know what it is. Never mind. Anyways, we don't have to use that as a. What it is it's like when you stop questioning these things, or whenever you start to question these things, it makes people uneasy with their understanding of things, right?
Just like I said, I don't want to believe that people alive that are that evil that, you know, in order to make money would be willing to kill, you know, thousands and thousands of people, right? I mean,
and that they're utilizing something that they've not only helped to establish, but they're manipulating it in such a way that they've got you by the emotional balls. You know what I mean?
In the same way, if you just say, you know, like, you know, when that whole bombshell came out that, you know, America's basically spying on you, right? In the name of security. You tell people that. Well, they're just collecting metadata. You know, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter for you, or if you're not.
You're not hiding anything.
It doesn't matter.
That's always the first defense of something.
People sit there and think like.
It's rationalization.
Yeah, rationalize it like, okay, so I'm not. I don't know, like. If they don't believe, you know, if they can talk themselves out of it, then it's not happening. So.
But if they want to talk themselves out of it, it's not that they don't want to talk themselves out of it. It's everybody. You want to talk yourself out of it because the nature of us. Just think the nature of what we are as humans, right? We don't want to naturally be in an elevated stress level, right? Like that's not what we're optimized for, right? We're optimized to be just chilling, right? Like, oh, you know, go just do this. But when you get to, all of a sudden you're taken out of the realm of reality, and it's being questioned, and then you're like, oh shit, no, I'll just rationalize it.
This chair's gonna be the most.
You want this one?
No. Pants are all twisted around.
It's not that chair's fault, is it? But you know what I'm saying by that? Like, we want to bring ourselves back to equilibrium that we've.
Human beings avoid confrontation. That's basically confrontation.
There you go.
Because you're gonna have to deal with the fact that your government's spying on you.
There you go. That's very well put.
Done something that has like put you in a position where you like, if I'm believing this, where this atrocity is caused because of this, you know. So then you have to deal with that. So I think if you don't believe in it, you don't, you know, then you just...
So think about that, the paradox that it puts you in, though, right? Because whenever you're raised as a kid, like, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, blah, 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 you know, all that, right? That whole thing is just pounded into your brain. And then when somebody throws this thought at you, like, hey, you know, the Gulf of Tonkin was staged. You can go to the U.S. Navy's website and they admit to it, right? Like what? And what? You know, it's like it doesn't compute, right? It crosses, everything's, all wires are crossed, and then like, holy shit, this is not right, right? Because then it takes that whole dynamic of what we've built in our brains as this heroic idea, and you're like, fuck, this is Superman being, you know, like the wool's being pulled, or the facade's being pulled away, and this throws my whole reality into what else is a lie, what else is wrong.
You can usually say, like, okay, so those events have happened. It's proven. Mm-hmm. But do you think it's still happening now?
Oh,
no, not anymore.
No, we're way past that.
We've expanded. We moved on. Moving forward.
If anything, it's much more. It's a shit ton more, and you're less able to figure it out.
Like I said, man,
or they don't want to hide it. Even they don't give a shit about hiding it now.
Throughout the world, utilize agents and you know, contacts or whatever throughout the world to influence public opinion, to change legislation, to move shit. You know, like
Overton window type mentality.
So, you know, if you can get a guy over to do this, to make something happen, to get the people behind it, to support. You know, I mean, it's public. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Public relations.
I mean, kind
it
of.
Is. No, it is. Is the guy? What's that guy's name? Edwin Bernays, right? He's like one of the key figures in the history of this stuff, right? Like, he figured out on a grand scale of how to do this, how to get people to move through that Overton window, and wrote books about it. And I believe governments, but
so I mean, yeah, so
utilize that.
So what I'm saying, so like if in Afghanistan, so we're over there and something happens and some people get killed, some local people, and it's a result of you know, like a firefight between like the Northern Alliance or whatever the fuck they're called, and some ISIS or Taliban or whatever we're calling them now. And there's, you know, there's civilians dead. The government is going to package it up and send it to you to be like, these guys came after us, and they attacked us, and they attacked your country, and we were trying to protect you and protect, you know, the people of Afghanistan, so we fought them, right? And that's how it's going to be presented to you, so that you can, you know, push this thing where, like, everyone thinks these guys are the enemy, you know, these other people are my friend. And if that means, you know, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, how are you going to do it? Like, if it's agents, like I said, you know.
Yeah.
So for me to believe that shit like that does not happen within the border of the United States is like, you're lying to yourself, man. I mean, why would it not? Everyone's so good at it, you know. Right.
Well, it's like this, is that it's the United States is not the only one that does this, right? And we just said that, but it's not because the government. It's not because of the government, right? Do you understand this? Like, I think a lot of people lose this whole idea. It's not the government. The nature of the government allows the mechanism to operate. It's because people that control the government, multiple different types of governments, the people that control those governments are the ones that are using the government as a tool, right? To be able to do this, to funnel great amounts of wealth, to gather those harvests of war, right? I mean, it's a perfect game plan, and it's utilized, and they're just sitting there and in their protected castles or whatever you want, you know what I mean, in their little their own little worlds. But it's not like because they're not invested in one government over the other. They've utilized it. They utilized those governments to funnel wealth to them, to make them more powerful, funnel more power to them. They're the ones pulling the strings. The thing is that the government allows it to happen. Like, not meaning allows it like we put our stamp of approval. No, it's the nature of the fact that it's easily manipulated because you're using majority rule or which is the same thing as dictatorship. Your votes are shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter whenever you have the ability to manipulate it. You get it? Or you've got. It doesn't matter if you say you're left, Nick, and I say I'm right, but guess what? Where do we get our money? Oh, from that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah, I don't like mayonnaise. I fucking hate mayonnaise. But I guarantee my opponent loves mayonnaise. I know he does. I've seen him put mayonnaise on many of sandwiches. And it doesn't matter, right? Like, I answer to this guy and you answer to that guy. It's just it's one big tool that's being utilized. But it's
all of it.
But that's the deal, is that a lot of, I know, a lot of people, we get lost and caught up in the idea of, first we get caught up in the idea of buying into Nick's, love of mayonnaise and my hatred of mayonnaise, and then we get caught up in the idea of, oh well, Nick and Mike both just made the government, or they just made the mayonnaise industry bigger. Not mayonnaise industry. They've neither one has done anything for us, right? It's all about government. But they're not looking past that. They get caught up in this, and they say, well, I'm not part of that game, and they pull themselves out of that game. But they still look at it like this is actually something that's really happening, right? Instead of looking through us and seeing where the money comes from, or who's standing to benefit, regardless of. And it's not like a conservative businessman is benefiting more than, there's these fucking few, these few elitists, and that's such an overused term. These few central bankers or whatever that control the world, basically. I don't know why.
My wife had a good point today. She told me she was watching or reading Facebook, and everyone's talking about the Dream program that Trump's.
Oh,
down, right?
Yeah, DACA.
DACA, yeah, not DARPA. DACA, right? My understanding.
So Dream was put in by Obama, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was
through an executive order, correct?
Right, and so it was basically saying what, that if you're born here,
you're a citizen.
Right.
So, a lot of people were behind that at the time, and a lot of people weren't, right? But Obama pushed it through with an executive order.
Mm-hmm.
And then now everyone's like, Trump's an animal.
Mm-hmm.
This is
okay. It's one of our listeners is going to explain what DACA is. Okay. Go ahead and explain it to us, and then we'll.
So, but now Trump is ending it, right? Doing an executive order, and it's what she told me. I like the way she said it. She said everyone's so focused on what is happening. No one is saying, like, look, this is what happens when this guy, when the pendulum's on this side, says, hey, let's do this, do an executive order. And then when your guy gets kicked off the team and the other guy comes back on and like, I'm taking this out with an executive order. Instead of saying, like, look, if we're going to do this, let's do it the right way, get it through legislation or whatever you want to say, get it through and get it passed. But instead of just, ramrodding it through and giving so much power to leaders to where they can just say, like, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, because, like we've said time and time again, when this fucking thing swings back to the other side, those same powers can be used against you. As much as you hate it, the guy, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. All right. So guess what? Guess what really going on? Doesn't matter either way. Neither of it fucking matters. You know why? Because it's all horseshit. It's all one fucking just hoax. This side did something to say that they did something for this side. This side did something to say that they did something for this side. Guess what? It's probably not going to affect shit. You know why? Because it's not. It's just one of those things like That everybody wants to believe like DACA is for children that got brought to the USA by their parents. They had to enter the USA by 15 or younger. So what is it? What is it doing for them?
Yeah, it protects them from deportations.
They're not going to get fucking deported. They weren't going to. It's they weren't going to. Nobody. It's the whole deal. Is like in my head. It's like I've already stopped. It doesn't exist. It's not. It's not going to affect them. You know why? Because they can't. They're not going to do anything about it. This fucking wall's not going to get built. That's not going to happen. This isn't going to happen. These are all things that were just like, so they can appease that other side that was, pounding their hand and pounding it, right? You think that they want to be able to. These people they want these people to work illegally, right? They want them to pay into fake Social Security accounts. They want all that stuff. They still have to pay taxes, but they don't get a benefit from it, right? Like, what's the benefit? They might be a use on the system medically, right? Like, they don't. Now they have insurance, right? Or they don't, but they're still going to get treated. But the amount of money that they're kicking into Social Security that they're not ever going to reap the benefits from, stuff like that, and the labor that they do, all this stuff is like, it's ridiculous to me. Like, it just seems ridiculous. It just doesn't seem like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, we did this for you guys. Oh, we did this for you guys. It's all that. But it's not even, this game doesn't even exist. I don't know.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I think it's the whole executive order thing now is to bypass all that, right? But it's to bypass it so that you can.
The point is, like, everyone says, like,
but it's
right
not
now. All the right wing. If Trump were to say, "I'm gonna write an executive order that makes suppressors legal," everyone would be like, "Fuck yeah, do it. It's awesome. I want a suppressor." Or I'm gonna make it to where you can own fully automatic weapons. Or what else? I'm gonna executive order abortion is illegal.
You won't ever see any of that. You won't ever see suppressors. You won't ever see an executive order doing that. You won't ever see an executive order doing anything like that. You'll only see executive orders like circumventing that so that they can. It's almost like rushing it through so you can not surprise them, but so that you can be like, look what I brought home. Like how do I say this? It's to speed up the process of the disenfranchisement, right? To speed up the process of the of the divide, right? Like, if it went the actual way that it needed to go, you'd be like, people would be like, fuck, we got put to a vote and people just they voted for it. I guess that's the way it works. You can't have that anymore. You've got to because you need to divide this nation even further because less people are looking at this game as a real game. However, the more that they do that, the more people start to step outside of the game and they're like, this is fucking crazy. Like your wife, like Casey, right? She's like, what?
What I'm saying is people are more focused on the fact that it's being done to an executive order. But when their guy's in power, they're all for it.
You're right.
When their guy's not in power, they're not for it. But they're failing to see, like, hey, instead of, like, right now, if they were to say, like, we're going to make a fucking executive order, everyone gets Lamborghinis, and be like, dude, we can't do that, right?
Right.
It's giving too much power. I mean,
right. Yeah. Everybody gets a pink pony.
I want a fucking Lamborghini, but you can't have that much power in the office. All right, we can't do it. So I'd be against it, right? I think maybe I'd take my Lamborghini.
Well, no. What I'm saying though is that, like your wife just pointed out, is that this is what happens here, and this is what happens here. So she's at that point that says that sees this is what happens here, this is what happens here, but still believing in the idea that this that this actually is legitimate when it's voted in, or that this is actually legitimate when it's voted in. It's not. It's not legitimate. It's just it's another step now that they've had to remove. That it's been removed now from the process, right? Like, fuck it, we don't have to. Just think about how many executive orders have been pushed through, right? And they continue to just rolling. But I don't believe that I don't believe it's a symptom. I believe it's contrived. It's part of the plan, right? To continue to divide it. Just think about how quickly people are like, fuck, Obama's a crazy lunatic. He didn't do anything that he said he was going to do except push through this stuff, right? And then you think, is your life any different today?
What?
From 8 months ago?
Mine's not. But I'm also not a 15-year-old illegal immigrant. If I was, I might.
You might be scared. But I mean, do you think how many people's lives are different?
I didn't have to pay a fine for not having health insurance.
Do you have health insurance?
I didn't for a point in time.
But it has to be
That
like a
was-
full
that
year,
was
right?
an executive order. No.
No.
You have to have health insurance, or you did used to have health insurance all the time.
So you're. Hold on. Obama EO suspended DACA enforcement. Trump terminated the EO. Oh. So big deal. Appeased the base, but nothing has changed. I don't know.
So there's things that change. I mean, there's shit. Fucking Magpul moved out of Colorado based on executive orders that were, or I guess those were state.
Yeah, the
restrictions they
state.
placed. But
Drastically.
what?
Has it changed?
My life hasn't? No. I'm not saying my life changed based on any of this, but
I just don't see.
Well,
I don't see that Trump's going to be any different than
oh,
Obama.
I don't either.
I think he's just going to.
I don't even feel like there's a guy. I don't know. Like I don't feel like there's a guy. Like I said, it doesn't feel like there's a president, right?
Right.
Everyone's bitching about someone that I don't see anything happening, but that's not my point. My point is that everyone. I mean, you're not. Everyone, all our anarchists or whoever, can talk about there not being the government. It's not going to happen in real life.
No.
You're going to have to play the fucking game, and if you continue to play the game and give power because your guy is in office, even though it goes against your enemy, you're just fucking yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But I'm not playing the game. I watch the game, but I'm not going to vote.
No,
I won't vote. But that's. I mean, I have to live, so I live here. But it doesn't mean that because, you know, it's like I'm like, well, yep, that's the game that's going on. It's watching it from it's boring to watch now. Do you know what I mean? Like it used to be fun. I know that sounds strange, but it used to be like, to me, it used to be like, oh, I had my side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, fuck yeah, no, that's messed up. That's messed up. And as you become more like disgusted with it, it just becomes less fun to watch. Because you don't have your side. You don't have a side anymore. You're like, fuck this. No, where's my team? I don't got a team.
The only thing that worries me too about all that is I feel like if I'm too
Is it apathetic? Is that the word?
apathetic, yeah. That it's like what's that quote that when the Nazis came for who did they came for me?
Yeah, but that's different, right? Because the Nazis represented the government, and they did come for something. So that's, I mean, hopefully our types would be the first ones to say that's fucked up. What are you thinking? You can't just come in and violate human rights like that. Like, hopefully that would be us. But if you think about it, people that are rooting for whoever's in power at that time, sure, they're not going to say shit.
No. And
then the same goes to the other side. They're not going to say shit. So the population that's outside of the game, looking at the game and being like, man, you guys are fucking crazy. Those would hopefully be the ones that would not be that apathetic that hopefully are defenders of human rights, you know, not nihilists, but people that are more like, hey man, this, you know, I just want to be free and not fucked with. You know, that whole idea. I don't know. What sickens me is this huge, like, I know this is gonna not go over well, but this huge like Moulin Lob, or how do you say that?
Moulin Lobby.
Yeah, that whole like.
I saw you can in Oklahoma. You can buy your tag, your license tag, your car. Don't tread on me flag on it. Like, you're paying taxes for your vehicle taxes.
Yeah.
Fucking don't tread on me flag on the back.
That's great. I don't know. I mean, it bothers me because they're figuring out how to compartmentalize that group of people. They're figuring out how to all right, we've got a group of people over there. We've got to get our representative for them, and then we're gonna you know, their little leader will be this guy, and we'll make sure that, you know, we'll even sell them license plates. Don't tread on me, unless I don't pay my taxes, or unless I don't buy the tag.
The fucking shredding has been going on for fucking years.
The minute that they said that, the minute that they said "don't tread on me," they were like, "Fuck, we're being treaded on."
I don't know.
It's just you know, I don't know.
All right, so this next one's
not a huge depressor.
Yeah, this.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. That's all right. We got something that's livening it up right here.
Gloomy. It's FoxNews.com. So I thought this was a quantity of what was consumed.
Yeah. What?
For one, I cannot believe this is on a national news website. I mean, we joke about Huffington Post talking about bullshit. And the Fox News is reporting that Florida couple had 4 Loco-fueled sex on beach near families.
What is Loco-fueled?
4 Loco is a drink.
4 Loco?
Mm-hmm.
Is it an alcoholic drink?
Yeah, it's booze. A couple in
I've
Florida was
never even
arrested
heard of that.
for having sex on a beach in Clearwater, Florida, in the middle of families, investigators said. Jeffrey Kernan, 50, was performing oral sex on Alexandra Rowell, 26, of Winter Haven.
When was this? What time of day?
Sunday afternoon.
Ooh, so it was not. It was
Daytime.
Yeah.
This was in front of families and children. Although the two were not charged with public indecency, each was arrested on a misdemeanor charge for possession of an open container of alcohol, a 16-ounce can of 4 Loco. There was an indication of, quote, alcohol influence regarding Kernan and Rowell, according to the arrest affidavit. Police said Kernan was released Monday afternoon upon posting $250 bond. Rowell remains in custody.
These guys, this Fox News, did they get their the way they titled things from us?
I don't know, but I feel like
really outlandish or
Fox
extreme?
Fox News is almost becoming like just a joke. If you read their news, I mean, Huffington Post is bad. Like, I try to pull from both of them.
Right.
I mean, Huffington Post is just basically mad about their dad being Donald Trump, right? They're pissed. That's all it is.
Yeah, they are.
And Fox News is just nonsense, it seems. Like this. Fucking people got caught having sex on the beach and drank some fucking shitty alcoholic drink.
And then put their pictures up.
Yeah, that 50-year-old guy is tame as hell, man.
Mm-hmm. He don't look 50.
Banging 26-year-old women on the beach. Living a good life.
Yeah.
But,
4 Loco, though. I never even heard of that. You heard of that?
Yeah, I think it's like alcohol and caffeine, I think. Mixed.
This is the worst.
Speaking of living a good life.
Get hammered, can't fall asleep.
Yeah. Alright, so this is from Fox News Health. 5 nurses suspended after opening body bag to view deceased patient's genitals.
Oh, man.
So this showed up on Huffington Post, too, so you can't just call this Fox News.
Okay.
5 nurses at a Denver Health Medical Center were suspended after another nurse heard a comment about the group opening up a body bag to view a deceased patient's genitals. The incident was reported to the administration. The 5 were involved were suspended for 3 weeks. So this guy died, and between March 31st and April 3rd, these 5 nurses, like,
I don't get, like,
multiple staff members.
It's a lot of days.
Oh, they're saying it occurred.
He was
between
incapacitated.
Yes, so multiple staff members viewed the victim while he was incapacitated, including after he was deceased. I guess they couldn't find out where a law was actually broken, so they said that they left it up to the hospital to handle how it was.
So when I first read this, right, you pointed something out to me after this afternoon on the phone. But when I first read this, I was like, God dang, this dude must have had like giant horse dick or something, right? Like down to his past his knee.
That's what I thought at first.
And that was my initial. But you definitely.
So I think that the guy must have had a tiny dick because
nobody would be mad.
Yeah.
If they're like, oh, yeah, that's something that he.
Holy shit! Look at that. It's fucking. It's a Coke can.
What the? Yeah.
But if they're making fun of him for having a tiny penis, someone's gonna get like, guy's dead. People are busting his balls for having a tiny dick when he's dead. Because otherwise, I mean, if dude's packing heat.
Yeah, they just be like, that.
Alright, man.
Yeah.
Way to go out. You know what I mean?
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you're right.
Stuck through my fucking coffin. Got the hole saw put in. Like have that shit standing up there in the middle. Put that wreath of flowers around it.
It's a crown.
People like incapacitated, whatever. Check it out. I'm on my way out of here.
This poor old lady.
I mean, it had to be.
That's why she's walking around with that walker.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It had to be.
Could have been. Big Ben.
Yeah, I think you're right. Unfortunately, and sad for that guy. He had to live with a tiny weenie.
I mean, it's either one of them. If they were really investigators, they would know.
Then why would you get fired? You'd just be like, yep, nobody would get mad about that. I mean, the guy probably had a smile on his face, like.
Yeah, I was just say
probably pulled his pants off just to,
like, fuck. I'm almost out of here. I gotta get this thing out in the open.
I gotta let the world know. All right.
Fluff it a little bit. Oh, God, my last breath. I think I did it. If he's up there looking down like this fucking dying.
Yeah.
Like, look at these fucking people. Still coming. I've been dead for 45 minutes, and they're still checking out what I got.
4 days I've been incapacitated.
The rigor mortis? No, it's not at all. Look at this. My God.
Look at Octopus's arm.
Gotta be some way to save this. And then who was it?
Rasputin.
Rasputin, yeah. Fucking threw the shit in the bottle.
It's like. It looked like that potato that I see all the time.
It's in a jar like the fucking circus with the dragon. Like, look, the dragon.
I think that's the case. That's what you paid $0.25 to see every time. Be like, oh, it was Rasputin's cock that we saw.
That wasn't a dragon. This entire time. All right. No to Dude, I didn't really have a specific ode to women, other than I got directed. Like, I've always thought Danica Patrick was hot, right? The race car driver. She's not good at racing, I don't think, right?
I don't know.
I don't think she is. I don't know. Maybe.
So I don't. Whoa! I didn't look at this yet.
So anyway, she's a race car driver, and I saw it. So it said Danica Patrick relaxes by bending backwards. So there's a video of her in her underwear doing like a back bend. I was like, oh yeah, I read about her. And then you look at her, what is this, Instagram?
Is that what the
bikini
right
picture there on that boat?
Oh wait, on the boat.
The top.
Oh yeah. That don't they call that something?
The bikini bridge.
Bridge. That's right. Bridge.
Hip bone to mid bone, mons pubis. Sounds so fucking gross for the reason. But
Mons
she's
pubis?
Yeah. Sound like a fucking pervert saying that.
Yeah, it does sound a little bit.
Can I
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
mons pubis?
I like to put
What?
my hand around that mons pubis.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Anyway, so her Instagram
Mm-hmm.
is all about, because I thought she looked a little slim in her picture there. And she's like all about working out now and yoga and shit.
How old is she?
I don't know. Older than me, but she's not. I always think everyone's older than me.
Yeah, I thought like I'll watch NFL. And I'll be like, oh, those guys are. How old are those guys? They're talking 24.
I remember when I started getting real sad when I started seeing the Playboy. You know, it had the centerfold that said when they're born. I was like, fuck, man, that girl was almost born the same year I was. And then you pass it, and the girl's younger than me. You know? No, so I don't know if the ode to women is other than the fact Danica Patrick's hot. She races race cars. I work on race cars, and
How much do you bench?
like does
300. 300 parts an hour?
does sexy Instagram posts. End of story. I'm losing it, man.
It's alright. You're alright.
I'm not doing that time travel thing because I tried to read it to understand it, but I still don't fucking understand it.
What time travel?
There's a time travel article that says is it possible or isn't it? It basically just goes through and says it isn't unless we can do this. And the shit that, like, yeah, time travel is possible if we can find a chrome-plated Tyrannosaurus Rex right in his mouth. Like, okay, so then it's impossible, right?
Yeah, I mean,
if you could find an infinitely long metal cylindrical thing and spin it at the speed of light, you could travel back in time. Like, so you can't. Where the fuck are we gonna get an infinitely long metal cylinder?
Exactly.
It's impossible.
I
believe time travel is real, by the way, or possible, but.
Yeah, I do too. And the reason I think that is because we don't know what the fuck it is yet. We have this this vague understanding, but the minute that you get past that first thought of like, oh, well, you try to, it's easier to go smaller, right? It's easier to get to completely blow your mind when you go smaller, right? Like, oh, well, what makes up an atom? Protons, neutrons, or protons, electrons, and neutrons, right? What makes up protons, electrons, neutrons, right? And then you're like, Higgs boson, blah blah blah. Well, what makes up that? And then you're fucking done, right? You're like, oh, I don't know what makes up those smaller particles. Something must make up those smaller particles. I mean, they probably, but the minute that you get to that point, like,
it's like Starship or not
Starfighter.
Yeah, came out of the other side of the screen.
You're like, you can't compute, and it's we're not there yet, right? Like, we're not there. I don't know if we'll ever be there, but
we will, because just like you sit back,
right? Go back 300 years. They're like, well,
cell phone. Mm-hmm. Okay, dude, I can call the king right now and send him a picture of my ass.
Uh-huh.
Like they're like, no, you can't do that. It's impossible.
Uh-huh.
I can fucking download porn in real time and watch it on my hand right now. Like, what's porn? You know what I mean? It's like completely. Yeah. They have no idea about it. Like, we have no idea about time travel. So I think at some point in time.
Well, the reason I say I don't know if we'll make it is because what if we hit technological singularity first, right? Or however, then
that's the key.
Maybe that is the key. That could be the key, or it could be the end, right? Like one of those. It could be we live in a utopian society forever after that. We merge with the machine, or that's the end of us all.
I need a new robot back because I fucking threw my back out on Sunday afternoon picking up a roll of tape. off the concrete. I was squatted down, reached over to pick up a roll of painter's tape, and I was immediately, this is what's funny. If I ever get shot in the street or something, I'm going to be worried about what I look like, because I was like, fuck, my neighbors can see me. I got to get out of here. So I'm like, I look like I'm doing the crab walk from gym class, you know?
Wait, yeah, well, how far, what happened?
I don't know. My back cramped up. So I like stand up and I'm walking all funny and I'm trying to get in my house. I look like Lurch.
Yeah.
You know? Get in my house and lay on the floor. My wife brought me some ibuprofen and I stretched. Somehow I stretched and fixed it, or a little bit. It still hurts like hell right now. But
What's happening to you?
dude, I don't know. I just know I pick up a roll of tape or reach the you know. I was talking to Marv at the gym. He's like, I'm telling you, I can.
Holy shit, you sound just like him.
I can deadlift 400 pounds, but you'll reach for a roll of tape and I pull my back out. I'm telling you. I mean, it's true, right?
Yeah.
I know a guy that broke his hand, professional fighter, broke his hand in the shower. Like, slipped on the shower.
Seriously masturbating.
Tapped his hand on the side and it broke his hand. Like, punched people in the face all day long.
But doesn't break it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with my foot still? I mean, it's messed up. When I grab something with my big toe, you know, like to grab myself to pull myself out of bed. I don't know if you ever do that, but you know what I'm talking about? Like, grab the edge of the bed, roll over or whatever. I don't know. You'll find yourself being...
Where I do that is, I got my haircut today, and in the shampoo table, Adam's got setup bars on those chairs, because I've got to use it to get out of there. Like, you got to hook your feet in there.
Oh, yeah.
I never big toe myself out of it.
You will, like, if you're conscious of, especially if your foot hurts, you'll start to, every time you do something like that, you'll be like, oh shit, I did that to get out?
I tell you what's pathetic is how much I hate bending over to pick up shit. And also, if I try to sit up in bed, if I'm on top of it, if I'm just sitting on top of my bed and I need to, or laying, and I need to sit up, I look like a fucking animal stuck on its back. Kicking my feet and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's because I looked the same.
I don't know when that happened, you know, but it's like you're trapped. Like, fuck, can't set up.
You gotta do more abs.
Something. Something's not working.
Alright, well, time travel will be possible.
Eventually.
Right.
We get those fucking iPhone 42 or something. We time travel.
You'll have an app for it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Be
What do
perfect.
you think? Here's the only problem with it, though, is if time travel is possible, wouldn't, like, I'd come back and fuck with myself. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what happened. Like, that's what you don't realize it. Like, you're getting fucked with by your future self just to bother you.
Like, because you can't affect this time period,
Yeah.
you can't affect it. It's like, because it's already happened. It's this loop.
Yeah, it's just like, but you can.
See, the thing is if you can close the loop, then you, I don't know. How do you close? You close the loop by.
I don't know how we open it.
I don't know.
I just figured there'd be a bunch of us walking around.
Yeah, because I'd be like, fuck, what am I?
Yeah, there's like 18 of you in here. Well, those guys are all from the future. Different time periods, different dimensions. It would have to be some sort of like,
What?
I don't know. Like, just think right now, if they said only that time travel is possible, where are you going?
Yeah, I see where you're gonna already
you're
take
gonna
this
go
going
back,
back,
so-
and they could be like, no, you can't. It's gonna be the same thing.
Relive your own
can't.
stuff. You gotta go past that before or whatever.
Yeah, because it just, like, just, I say this almost every episode whenever you start to Marty McFly anyways. But, yeah, it'd be like Back to the Future, man. You couldn't go back and fuck with yourself. Like, because you wouldn't.
Then you possibly disappear.
Yeah,
Okay, man, let's get drunk.
So it wouldn't be in your best interest to go back and mess with yourself. God, dude, one of the listeners said that it would be different, like a different realm. Maybe time travel, you go to a different universe, but then it's not really. It's time travel. You're just going to a different universe, alternate dimension or whatever that alternate. Another universe, right? Because it's supposed to be infinite universes. So then
my head starts getting fucked up when I start thinking about that, because if you think, so that alternate dimension, my name's Mike and your name's Nick.
Nah, I mean I think you're still Nick, but maybe it's just slightly different. You've got a wart or some shit.
When I leave here, I win the lottery in that dimension.
Maybe.
Or is it like
no, it's existing at the same time. All of them are existing at the same time, all over, right? Just all over, everywhere. And you're existing in that other dimension, just slightly different, right? Like, you're the guy that fucking the nurses got fired for looking at. You got a giant horse cock.
So if you look at this video on your phone that you've taken, I'm trying to get one. Like, is that a dimension? Because I mean,
fuck, dude, that's,
you know what I mean?
No.
Like, is this? I don't know what your videos of my kids on here. So like this video, is this happening now that I played it? Is it happening somewhere, or is it just a recording?
It's happening somewhere. Not because you played it, but because it's always happening. It's always happening. It's infinite. This is the deal, right? Like, it's not like it happened in the past. It's always happening.
This is a shitty dimension.
Is that that pistol? Flame? It's always happening. Everything that's happening in your life is always happening.
What's happening now is happening now. What happened to then? Then is now. Go back to then. We just did. When? Just now.
Exactly. I don't know. Let's read some of these from our comments from our listeners. See, they agree. String theory, yeah. Nope. We go to hell. See that music messes with me, man.
Radio Havana, Cuba.
Did you send that to me?
Yeah, in the text.
Uh-huh.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it. Because guess what I saw in the background?
What? That radio?
That radio. Because that's what I knew I would hear.
I don't know why I'm looking through my
so 55 Porter said we've been transitioning between timelines quite a bit recently. More and more people are experiencing the Mandela effect now. So is that because they're because of CERN?
Is it because of CERN?
Yeah, is it because of CERN?
I don't know.
Like it opened up to the abyss, to Apollyon.
Did that ever happen?
No, I don't think it's going to happen on the 23rd of this month.
Oh.
So, when's
Like everyone would.
Yeah, I know I would. There's a couple.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And there's a couple that I go back and be like, hey,
yeah.
you need to, I wouldn't shut myself down, ever. Not ever once. I'd be like, you need to like venture out a little more, homeboy, on this.
Hey guys, she's a mom.
I was thinking, take it easy, guys. I was thinking about that theory the other day.
What?
I don't remember how I related it. Never mind, I don't want to talk about it right now. I'll tell you later.
Alright. I'm about to pee my pants, so.
Okay, we're done.
Alright, so if you like tonight's show, make sure and email us at spearheadx@yahoo.com. Like and share the Facebook page. Make sure and subscribe and like comment, everything down below. Ring my bell.
Ding his bell.
Make sure and leave a, if you listen on iTunes or any of the podcast sources, make sure and leave a comment or something. Helps us somehow. I don't know how fucking does it, but it does it. So, I think that's it, right? Check us out on iTunes, Libsyn, Dogcatcher, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, all the nonsense from the commercial. If you have show ideas, email us or message us on Facebook. That's it. Sleepy.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends. Somehow.
How do toy unboxings?
Fuck that. How does lawn equipment videos that I was watching today?
That's true.
I mean, people get 10,000 views on a lawn video. I mean, I know a majority of our focus has always been on the podcast itself.
On the audio.
Yeah, people listen to the audio, which I'm fine with. But
I like this. I like this being able to see what these people are saying. You know, because all these people have their own thoughts, their own ideas.
It is fun to interact with the live chat.
And
the thing is, okay, so I've seen some other live chats where people are. It's like a pretty popular channel. And shit's just fucking racing by. And I like this.
I think you can slow it down though. I think you can adjust the speed of it.
What reminded me of, you remember those chat rooms at AOL? People just go in there and start just fucking typing nonsense. So the screen's just like flying by. People, the whole reason people are have sex, phone sex with one another or whatever. So they'd be asking where their age, sex, and location would be flying around the screen. I mean, just like nonsense, you know?
Yeah, I
feel like that's what it gets like when they get, when they just, you can't read anything. Like these, at least they come in slow enough to like, oh, okay, yeah. How often we live? Once a week, usually every Tuesday night, but last 2 weeks we procrastinated on Wednesday.
Is today Wednesday?
9 p.m.
It's 9:30 usually.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. Yeah. 9 to 9:30 Central Standard Time.
And we're brainwashing folks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the idea, right?
And sometimes, like at the beginning of this, it's all mopey bullshit, and talking about time travel and people getting their
fun stuff.
Like that. Dead people. It's all fun stuff.
I'll always like to get my penis looked at. Makes me happy. All right, we're done. You need to secret message.
Yeah.
They got to do one this week.
I thought you were on this.
No, secret message. Yes, she is. Got to do a secret message for our audio listeners. And if you like this and you feel like you missed something on the YouTube, look, we're dragging this out, but if you like this and you feel like you missed something on the YouTube and you want to just listen to it, like download it to iTunes, definitely go get the audio. You can go to Libsyn and get it.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. Private chat. What?
It's a AOL thing.
Oh, is that what?
Remember that?
No.
All I ever do in AOL is like
I just started
location. Someone like 18 female in Missouri like want a private chat.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
All right. Adios.
I can deadlift 400
That
pounds.
sounds just like him, dude.
See you guys. Thanks for commenting and interacting.
Bye.
See you next time.